things that we really enjoy in these sessions is interaction, and to have everybody participating and sharing. And in fact, we're going to go through some of the protocol in a moment here. But one thing that I've learned, I know Anne will agree and Tammy will agree on that, is when you participate and you become part of the event by sharing your feedback, by sharing how you feel, by sharing maybe some of your insights or even comments, it really not only helps us get a feel for what you get out of what we share, but it also create an environment for others that are watching. I know when I'm part of some of the events like Eric Worre, for example, often what happened is some people will be posting some comments, some things that they type because they type really good, and was able to cut and paste that information and add it to my own. You know what I'm saying? So the collaboration among all the listeners is so, so, so important. Would you agree, Anne and Tammy?
Yeah, absolutely. We learn a lot and we get a lot from each other. So it's really, really exciting. It's important to share all the stuff that we're learning and not keep this a secret, because 2022 is going to be explosive. And if we come together, it's going to get there even faster. Absolutely.
So let's get started on this event here this evening. Folks, listen, the purpose of this community is to create an environment where everybody can learn based on some of the investment that some of us have made. And one of the things that's important to keep in mind is we understand that it may not be convenient for everybody or even possible for everybody to be part of, let's say, the accelerator. Or Tammy and I and Anne decided to be part also. Anne actually has been part of the mastermind for the past 5 years. So Tammy and I decided to follow Anne's lead. And you know what? Let's rub shoulder with the millionaires that are rubbing shoulder with Eric, because our goal is to be 7-figure and above, right? And the fact is, what better environment to learn to be around this environment? And we want to bring this to you. And again, we're not obviously going to do all the training that are there, because you do need to make the investment to get what we're going to get. But what we're going to do is we're going to transcend a summary so you can have the meat and potato, so you can apply it within your own environment in building your organization. And the protocol that's very important in this group is it's be kind to each other, be supportive on each other, and also participate, comments, share. If someone, let's say, does an amazing video, or let's say they have something that they did that they just blew right out of the park, comment on it. And a like is okay, but a comment, folks, it's night and day. So again, just want to kind of share with you. And also, it's very important that we respect the environment in this group, right? There's a lot of people from all over the world that are joining us here. We want to respect, the work that they've done in creating their organization and be a safe place for everybody to work. And I know that Marcel, which is working with Anne, will be helping us monitoring. And also Tammy and I just hired an assistant to work with us also, to partner with our efforts to make sure that we can really attend to everybody's needs. So your participation is absolutely critical. And the other thing too that we want to do is we want to focus on the recognizing, because I know that, not every leaders have the same level of experience to be able to recognize some of the achievement that you may do or people in your organization may do. So part of this group, it's not a Chris and Tammy Ann show. This is an environment that we are spending our time to educate and to give you the right environment, as it was mentioned very often in a GoPro if you were part of this event, and the importance of being able to have success in this kind of environment. So this is the kind of introduction I want to share with you. And Anne, I'm going to pass it over to you to share your thoughts.
Great, Chris. Thank you so much. It's really great to be a part of this event today. I'm just getting out all the notices, telling people we're live. And so really, we wanted to start this page, like Chris said, because, a lot of us attended GoPro 2021. If you attended GoPro 2021, just put a number 1 in the chat. If you were part of GoPro 2021, put a number 1 in the chat. And so many of us were excited about what we saw for the 90-day run coming up, and for what we saw about the accelerator program coming up. And we wanted to make sure that as many people in our Max Global family could actually be carried along. You know, anyone who wants to achieve in 2022, we want you to achieve in 2022. So just because not everyone was going to afford the sizable investment that it took to join Accelerator, which is going to have daily coaching from Eric Worre in a 90-day run, which is a great and intense focus on our business, growing our business starting on January 3rd. Just because not everyone can afford to join that, we wanted to give you the next best possible thing and bring that to you, bring everything that we're learning from the Accelerator program into this community. And so I wanted to also recognize some people who have also made that commitment to be part of the Accelerator journey and who are going to be joining us throughout the year, bringing insights, bringing training, because in the Accelerator program, we have one workshop every month, and we also have a Monday mentored by the Millionaires coaching class every Monday. And of course, we are starting our 90-day run on the first days of January, which is an intense focus on our business. So I wanted to recognize some folks that have made that commitment. If I miss anyone, I know that Chris and Tammy will join in, but I wanted to recognize Dr. Izzy from Nigeria, Wattmaster from Ghana, Paul and Linda from Canada, Sylvie Cossette, Janet Moriyama, Jasmine Teberge from Canada, and also Michael Kende from the US. I want to see, am I missing anyone, Chris or Tammy?
I think we have everybody here, and we might have missed one or two, and I apologize that I don't have the list right in front of me, and so we'll definitely have to come back to that.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we're looking forward to being with you all year. That's the value that we want to create in this community together, so that everything we are learning we'll be able to share. All of the accelerators will be able to share into the group, whether it's a post, whether it's a document, whether it's a live weekly training. And so if you follow along in this community, you can invite your team members, you can invite even prospects who want to understand what kind of personal growth and development there is that's available to them when they join you in the Max business. They're also welcome. This is an open public group with the Facebook community, the Crown Diamond Global Impact. And so we want to make sure that in this group, there's no spam allowed, okay? If you notice anyone posting any other opportunities, any crypto deals, any invitations to anything other than Max Business, please report them right away. And if we find that we can't manage with the public group, we'll have to take the group private. All right, so we want participation. We want to really create a great community. We want to add a lot of value, but we also want to make sure it's a great and safe place for everyone.
I totally agree, Anne. And again, one of the very important aspect that we want to cover that I didn't touch earlier, folks, is, you know, the goal, the strategies, your daily method of operation, you know, the language of leaders, planning, do, review, audience connection technique, assignments. These are all things that we're going to be working on, which is extremely important to have the success that we're looking for. And at this point, I'm going to turn around and pass it over to Tammy to kind of start initiating the points. And let me just look at my notes here, Tammy. Just want to confirm that we're all good. And that's right. So Tammy, why don't we start with the actual plan, do, review. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. So you can go ahead to the next slide, Chris. I'm super excited because I always have my plan for my goal and the action. And then Chris and I, we at the end of the month, and we've been doing this for so many years, and at the end of the month, we review. So write that down. This is extremely important. Before we even go into this slide, write down goal setting, plan, because we're going to do a lot of planning in 2022, lots of things that are going to go on. And then the do is the action. Okay, so it's always taking action on a daily basis. And then you're going to review your own personal goals, and you're also going to review within your team members all the goals that they're going to set. And before we go ahead with the 10 things that we're going to put on this slide, I want to talk about the 3 types of people that are goal setters. And we all fit into this category. You may have already fit into one category and moved to the second, but number 1 is the pessimist. This is the person that wants to set goals. They actually set them, but they don't believe that they can actually do the goal. That is the first one. And then the second one is the optimist. This is the person, the realist. This is the person that's actually doing the goal. And they are, sorry, my screen just shifted here. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. So the realist is the person who is doing the goal. And, oh, there we go. I don't know what happened there. Things are shifting. All right. So they're setting the goal and they're doing the goal, but they're not setting the goals like the third, which is the visionary. We all know what we do. Everyone, look at where you're at right now. Are you the person that sets the goals and then in your head you don't believe you can do them and nothing happens? Or are you the person that sets goals but you don't go too big just in case because you don't want to get disappointed? So you achieve a little goal. Or are you the person that really drives it out of the park, sets massive goals, and people are going to laugh at you? You know, if you're that person, you know what's going to happen. But here's the thing about that person. That person always gets ahead. They always reach higher goals than any other person. So where are you in those 3 going into 2022? Are you the visionary? Because that's what's going to take you to get to the next level. And always ask yourself why you want to achieve these goals. This is a big one. We can set all the goals we want, but your why is going to drive you further than the what and the how. So when you have all those 3 together, you're on fire. So let's go ahead and get started, Chris, with the income.
Absolutely. So one of the situation here that's very important, folks, and Stanley is absolutely dead on. You know, we think that it's all about sponsoring the big whale, right? You're lucky you got that big person and that's where you got the big team and the big check. And folks, I believe that yes, from time to time, you may come across a little bit of luck by having an awesome prospect that just sees this regardless of your experience and even the errors that you might have done. But here's one thing that is very, very important is to have a very clear vision, a clear, specific vision on what your goal is. And I think it's probably one of the most common challenge that I see as we mentor associates around the world is they don't have a clear belief. So the fact here, and this is really important, and if a multi-millionaire who's making millions of dollars a month telling you the very first thing they ask you is, okay, what is your goal, your income goal in 2022? What is it? And write it down. This is so important. And I know some of you are listening to all of this, and we appreciate that you do. But what I really, really recommend is take action on that. Take action on that. So in the chat, anybody here, write down here, what is your income goal for 2022? Write it down as I'm sharing here. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, and we're not gonna hold you to this. But write it down. Take the time. What is your income goal for 2022? So important. And the fact here is you better have a goal that's really far and not reaching it than having a goal that you have reached but you touched it. Because we as humans, we tend to when we reach our goal, we pack our bags and we figure, okay, let's go to vacation, we're done, we've done the job. That's what happens. So very, very important. Set your goal. And I really appreciate that. I see here Marie-Josée, 100,000. I see Marie-Paul, 15,000 a month. I see Laura, 5,000 USD. So I don't know if that's per year or that's per month, right? I see here 400K. Oh, Dr. Izzy, I love this. I love that. Absolutely amazing, right? It's very doable. It's not that hard. I'm telling you, it's very, very doable, right? So again, just per month, per year, it's just specify. Just specify. You want it per month, you want it per year. Be very, very specific. And 30 grand a month, this is awesome. Janet, 100,000. I'm assuming that's for the year. It could be for the month. I mean, my goal, you know, when Eric turns around and says, okay, write your goal. And then you know what? Well, I want right now to be a solid 150,000 a month. That's what I want. And he turned around and says, double it. Whoa. And they turn around and take that and double again. You call it a double. And it says, this is $500,000 a month. But you know what? People are doing this stuff. And you know, I had to get out of my comfort zone. It says, oh my God. And you know what happened? We started thinking bigger. And guess what? Tammy, Anne, and I started chatting. And then one of the things, the consequences to get there is to create an environment to educate more people so more people can elevate. Because this business, you can't rank up if you don't have people in your downline ranking up with you. That's the beauty of our industry. And I really appreciate that. And I'm not going to everybody here because I know I need to move on because the training is only 1 hour. But folks, I spent a bit of time on that because it is so important. Go ahead, Tammy.
Alrighty. And then number 2, you need to know the habits that you're carrying right now and what habits you want to create. So what habits do you want to set for 2022? Do you want to be more disciplined? Maybe it's you want to be more consistent. Maybe you want to be a better problem solver. Maybe you want to be more organized in your calendaring. So whatever it is for you for 2022, have that written down. Take the time to do these exercises because we're literally creating the map right now. After this session, you're ready to rock for 2022. Okay, so what habits do you have right now that you've been applying in 2021 that has served you? Write that down. What are the habits that have been serving you? Now, this is the big one. What habits have not been serving you? You need to write those down because you need to put an X through all of those, especially in the first 90 days going into 2022. All right, so those are your habit focus. You need to know where you're going with your habits.
So here's the other number 3 is how many personal customers will you add into your business this year, right? And what will be the ratio between associates and customers? I know that Tammy and I are big in sponsoring associates. My default are my customers. If someone does not want to do the business for whatever reason, but they see the value of the product, then I will default to my customers. And I think many of us do that, but have a number. And what will be that ratio? Really, really important. Because it may vary from market to market. Right? Which market will you be building? Right? Tammy and I always think, it's really interesting. We've always built local, but we've always think global. And our business has always been global. Even before Max, our business was global. We have friends from all over the world in almost, I wouldn't say every country around the world, but we have many, many friends around the globe. We can turn around, jump in a plane and fly somewhere and actually go have supper with some friends that we've met once upon a time, right? This is how serious this is. So this community that's being created with this kind of business is so wonderful. And that's why I highly, highly recommend be specific on your goals and don't be afraid of how big they may be. I'm telling you, because that may be the reason why you're not reaching the levels that you're reaching because you're making your goal too reachable and too attainable.
Absolutely. There's an underlining thing that Chris shared with you, and I hope you really caught that one. What you think about expands. We were building local, but we always thought global. So we attracted globally in our local market. And that's how we started building network marketing. So when a market would, have some challenges going on, it didn't make a difference for our organization because we had a global impact. And we're going to teach you a lot about that this year. Recruiting, write that down. We are in a business of bringing new people. Okay. I don't care if you don't like the word recruiting, you can say sponsoring, you can say whatever you want, but it's at the end of the day, it's new business. All right. And understand the numbers. I think a lot of people don't understand the numbers and they give up too soon. So if you recruited 20 people, 12 are going to disappear. And sometimes it's quite fast. They sign up and they're missing in action. Anybody have any MIAs happen for you? All the time. Okay. And it is what it is. And you can't change that, and don't get caught up in it. That's the problem. People get caught up in people who are not doing the work. Get caught up in the people who are doing the work. All right. Spend your time doing that. 4 are going to leave after 90 days. That's why 90 days are so critical. If people are getting results in 90 days, most likely they're not going to leave. Okay. 3 will work. Understand that. And one of those out of 20 is going to be the result of 50% of the work you've done with everybody, 50% of your business. You don't need to recruit the whole world. You need to understand that, but you got to plant seeds. You got to get a group of people and then start working and see who's willing to do the work. Okay. And if you want 4 good lines, you need to recruit 20 early. Momentum.
Here's another one that's really important. Number 5 is rank advancement. Let me ask you here, do you know what the core rank with Max International is? If anybody knows what the core rank is, put it in the chat. This is a really important question. Do you know what the core rank is? Because the core rank is actually the lifeblood of your business. You're absolutely correct. And I really appreciate you guys are dead on. You see, do you know when I was helping associates to reach the crown diamond, do you know what we focused on? Bronze. Because you can get all the way to crown diamond if you keep producing bronze. Do you understand? So if you're not a bronze associate, that should be your very first goal rank. It is so important. It is the most important rank in this entire compensation plan. If you achieve it, you can help someone else achieve it. And this is a rank you can reach within 90 days. That's why the 90-day run is going to be critical when we start that back in January. It will be critical for you. If you apply and you do these rules, you're going to follow exactly what some of us have been duplicating as to why they've reached the crown diamonds and double diamonds and so forth, is they were focusing on building bronze associate. That is the key. So the fact is, how many core rank do you have in your organization? How many bronze do you have? And I'm also talking about personally. You need personal rank advancement and also personal associate who reach their own rank advancement. That I cannot stress this enough. So folks, what is your goal and when will you be achieving it? Because that's a goal that a brand new person can achieve in 90 days, especially if they follow through with their 90-day runs.
All right, and through the process, we're going to go into skill development, which is the most important. Learn, do, teach. Write that down. You have to learn the skills, apply the skills, and then you can teach the skills. Okay, so we're going to learn fundamental skills. We're going to learn social media skills, and we're going to learn leadership development skills. And this is going to go on throughout the whole year. So who's up for learning new skills to get to the next level? Because that's what it's about. All right. So we're going to focus on the next slide on the skill development. So Chris, you can go ahead.
Okay. So in this case, culture, what do you want to be known for, and what do you want your team to be known for? See, the team culture is so important because often this is the environment that will actually keep your people engaged into your organization. I cannot stress this enough how important that is, right? For example, freedom builders, right? And we created this group called the Crown Diamond Global Impact, right? This is a brand that is based on that particular group. Why? Because we didn't want any individuals to be kind of the hero. We want to create a community of heroes. And that's what it's all about. We want you to go for the Crown Diamond real bad. Because when that happens, guess what? The company's numbers goes into the billions in sales. What happens? Better trips, better promotions, more income, more travels, more promos. You understand? So the culture that you create is so important. Max Culture is known for we are a company that helps people. Our products help people. What we need to do is we need to upgrade to we are a community that helps people, that creates multimillionaires around the world. Because the reality is we've done it. But are we talking enough about it? It's not about the money, folks. It's what the money can do for you and what it can do for your community. That's what we're talking about. We want you to break free from the environment, from the bondage of income that is keeping us so grounded all the time. Folks, Max International is this kind of company that can do that because we provide a tangible service to our society. That is the culture that we want to keep expanding. I wouldn't say create because we've already created. We need to expand on that so people become envious of being part of this culture.
And then we have geographical expansion. And we just expressed a little bit about what we've done personally, thinking in our local market, thinking global, which has now there's hundreds of meetings going on a weekly basis in all these countries around the world, but it started somewhere, right? So you got to have those goals on your geographical area, whatever you want to build outside, and start building it from within. Okay, and use leverage social media to do that. And in 5 years from today, 70% of the volume that's going to be created within your organization, if you do this, is going to be from outside of your area code. And that's starting with your area code. It's so powerful. The world is so big, yet we're so connected through social media. So really focus this year your goals on that. Think outside of your backyard. Think outside of your neighbors. By talking to your neighbors, you're going to meet somebody in a different country, right? So these are the things that we want to expand on this year. So put some countries on your vision boards and put it out there. Set intentions and start attracting people from these markets.
I totally agree, Tammy, and this is absolutely dead on. Now, the next one is event. See, part of your goal setting is how many events do you tend to attend? Because events alone could take you to your next pin level, can take you to your financial goals. See, I love the pin levels, I love the ranks, I love ranking, I love all of these things, but at the end of the day, how much money are you bringing home to feed the table? To be able to fulfill the dream of your families and yourself. Events will feed that. You need to participate. I'm grateful for all of you to be here today. Between you and I, we should have bust this wide open, well over 500 people, and the rest would have to go on the Facebook Live to be able to continue viewing. Right? Folks, we need to push for event. Event is what fuels your organization. Some of you might have seen a video that I did encouraging you to get your ticket for the GoPro 2022. And one of the things that I share, it's kind of a summary that we have in our book when we first started. Because at first events, it's not that I didn't believe in events. I didn't believe in justifying the money to go to the events. I knew they had value, but I didn't understand the value of investing into events. And I know some of you may be that way. And what I'm telling you is don't nickel and dime these things. Because events now, because of the pandemic, now are so cheap. Because before we had to you know me, get on a plane, book hotels, the restaurants. You understand, right? The process. It's expensive, but we all did it. And until 2019, that's always how it's been done. But what's happening here is the whole world has shifted. And we have a guy by the name of Eric Worre who created a multi-million platform to be able to create these powerful events to help us elevate our companies to what it is meant to grow. Do you understand? So events, when we started, I went alone. Came back, I was in seven heaven, I was floating, but everybody looked at me like I was weird, and kind of weird in the sense that I was so excited, and they weren't in that same frequency because they didn't understand what I saw. But I was able to get a few people with me in the following year. And it's around 6. I remember there was about 6 of us that went in, right? I think Marie-Paul, you might have been there. And we went to this event. And what happened from that event, it opened people's eyes. But 6 people impacted turned into the next event, which the reason why there's so many is because it was a local event. It was actually in the same country. It went from 6 to 500 people. But why did it grow so much? It's because these 6 people were inspired by the possibility. And the year after, it was 1,200 people. And from that point on, Tammy and I have never been below 6-figure income a year. Ever in network marketing. And we're talking decades from now, in the past. Do you understand? Events will fuel your business. It's like rocket fuel for your business. Do not nickel and dime this, especially if it costs a few dollars. But not only that, but this is a form of an event. We're taking these events, as Anne explained, that sometimes they're expensive, and we brought it to you so you can take advantage of that. So we can nurture you, but not just you, your downline. You see, if you show up alone, you will learn. But if you show up with your downline, you will learn while you earn. That's how we build a network.
All right, so the next one is net worth. Where are you right now? Write down the number of whatever you're making right now in your Max business, okay? And then in 12 months from now, what is the number that you see yourself achieving? Write it down. Write it down. Remember, visionary, think big, all right? So write that number down. And how much of that, number 3, is how much of that are you prepared to invest in order for you to be able to start to grow your net worth? So many people are not doing that. That's the part that they miss the most. They get the goals, but then they're not willing to commit the time. They're not willing to commit the money. It costs money to get products to be able to put in people's hands so people can have the stories. Your fruits are the stories that come from this. And people getting results will want them to be part of the big mission of what we're creating with Max, right? So you got to invest. Don't earn your first paycheck and eat it. All right. You need to take that income, reinvest it back in, get your products, learn some stuff, buy books, take courses. These are the things that Chris and I, and Anne, I know you've done it, and many of the leaders that are on this session today, we've invested so much to be where we're at today. That's the reason we are here, is because of that. We executed everything that we've learned from this whole years of growth. So write this down. 3 years from today, I am making more from my passive income than from my network marketing business. You're going to learn some of this in this process, because I can tell you that all the top leaders in companies, including us, Anne and Chris and I, and many others, we've made some great investments that is now turned into passive investments for us. And it's growing and growing and growing. You're going to learn a ton of this stuff. Stop spending the money you make and start reinvesting it into yourself first, and then into your passive income, whatever that is, real estate, whatever it is.
I totally agree, Tammy. And just to kind of close that point here before we move on to the next slide, folks, this is so important. You see, Tammy and I are investing, because remember, when we started Max International, if you read our book, right, we were broke and in debt up to our eyeballs. So we need to start from scratch, but not only from scratch, from minuses. So what happened is we invested about 50% of what we've earned. But now it went down to about 25%. And I'm still that way. And actually, I'll give you a little tip. There's a free software that you can install. It's an app. It's free. It's called Mint, mint.com. Now, I don't know how it works all over the world, but it should work because it connects to your bank account and everything else. And based on my assets, I say, where do I want to be when I'm in 65, 70 years old, right? Where do I want to be? Because I don't want to keep working all the time, right? So I said, well, for me to be able to live with $250,000 a year, let's say when you retire, everything is paid for, I need to have at least $5 million in the bank account. And guess what, folks? We're halfway there. And we still have so much time to go. So you know what? We might be at 10 million. Who knows? But you understand, is we invested. And the people that I had an opportunity and the honor to mentor, you can talk to some of them. I don't want to point them out this evening. But some of them have invested and purchased properties, invested into their education. And now they're investing into other businesses to complement what they're earning in Max. Do you understand how that's important? Right? You can earn six-figure income, and 10 years from now, you might be worth millions if you properly invest and nurture. What Tammy just talked about is so important. Now let's move on to another point, which is extremely important. It's about skill development when it comes to your personal skills and also your team skills, right? Very important. And what we want to do is talk about the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals? I like to call it the money-making activities. So many people are so busy doing stuff that does not affect their volume at all. And now wonder, year after year after year after year, nothing changes because the activities that they apply do not apply towards what we call the money-making activities. The first one is finding prospects. Tammy, are we sharing these ones? We're sharing these slides, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this finding prospects. So we've done some trainings. In fact, when we first landed in Ghana and then in Nigeria, in Cote d'Ivoire, and very soon we'll be going to Guinea and different parts of the world and back to the Philippines. Folks, I can't wait to start traveling. I miss this human connection. I love Zoom, but folks, it does not replace the human connection. But we know we need to go through these difficult times, but that doesn't mean we need to wait. That's the point, is that finding prospect is to build a relationship. Not signing up, not selling. If it happens to get there, great. But your goal is to build a relationship with as many people as you possibly can. That is the goal.
Yeah, so leveraging those fundamental skills, we're going to go through a lot of that throughout the year, which is finding prospects, inviting, presenting, following up, closing, getting people started right. That's a huge one. And then, of course, always promoting events. And another one is social media skills. We're going to get a lot of this from the accelerator. We're going to be bringing that to all of you. So be prepared to learn a ton this year, but we're asking you not just to show up and learn, but to apply it, to do the do, right? So, and then leadership development is the other skill that we're going to focus on in 2022.
Absolutely. And folks, the social media skills, this is something that is so critical, so important. And as we keep evolving And Tammy and I, we realized that we've been building this business belly to belly and being in a plane almost every 2 months. Everything changed. So we need to go back to the basics, and we need to start branding ourselves so people understand who is Chris and Tammy. Because when we meet our people, you know, the people we used to, we have an audience, but in a social media environment, who are we? And the fact is, we have so much track record of what we've accomplished. You know, one of the things is we're being mentored by Hugo. Many of you know him. And Hugo was saying, Chris, do you realize what you've accomplished? Do you realize what you have done? Do you realize how many people have been impacted by what you and Tammy and Ann have done? Do you see it? I say, yeah. But does the world know about it? Not yet. See, we started realizing that we need to redefine ourselves. And this is what's so important, right? And one of the things is your leadership skills. This is critical, folks. Listen, if you want to earn, 10 grand a month, and you can do it, but you'll have to work hard all the time to maintain that $10,000 a month, because whoever comes forward leaves backward, right? Because there's no structure, there's no leadership. And the fact here is that you don't want to be just recruiting. It's tiring. What you want to do is you want to keep recruiting all the time, but not recruiting as fast as people leaving. You want to develop leadership. That is the key. When Tammy and I build an organization, who can we lead? Who can we support and mentor to take our space, to take our spot? I've always think that way. And guess what? We got leaders stationed all over the world that are leading their organization. So it's about breeding leaders. You want to earn $1 million income? And I know for some of you that may be a bit of a stretch. So let me just say, you want to earn over 100,000 US dollars a year? You want to do that? Or a month? Folks, if you want to pass that 100,000, because honestly, from 100,000 a year to millions, it's not that different. It's the amount of leaders that are actually leading. That's what takes you from that 6-figure to the 7-figure. That's what it's all about. So leadership, developing leadership in your team, it is so important. It is absolutely critical. And one of the things that's so important is rate yourself, right? On a scale from 1 to 10, would you sponsor yourself? If you sponsored yourself, what kind of results would you have in your business? Think about that. Because, the way you see yourself may be a strong reflection of how others see you, right? So rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. How are your skills, for example, in the social media world? How are your skills in presenting? How are your skills in getting people to see the vision? How are your skills in prospecting, inviting, these money-making activities? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. You want to get better? Listen to people that are successful or more successful than you are. This is one of the reasons why Ann, Tammy, and I decided to rub shoulder with the 7 figures and above, right? The Cardorns and all of these guys, right? What do they do different than we do? And we're grabbing that information and in turn transcending it to you. But eventually you will have to make that decision. Strategy to increase your skills over the next 12 months. What are you willing to do? Well, this is a good starting point. From this group, from this environment, from that training, what will you get and what will you act upon for you to move forward to get better at what it is that you need to do to be more effective on what we call the money-making activities?
Yeah, and then in 12 months from now, you're going to rate yourself again, and you'll have improved in your numbers. That's the whole goal in the review, is to see how you're growing, how the team's growing, and that's when you make some adjustments and you create another campaign or whatever it is. So we're going to go through a lot of strategies throughout the year with you. One will be the events, leveraging from any event that's going on. There's going to be a lot of events going on worldwide, and create challenges around those events within your team. There's always lots of things that you can do to create some excitement and to create a challenge for them to accomplish, like to have in each event, each person have at least 10 people. you might have a team on fire. You're all going to bring 50 people. You know what your group looks like right now, and you know what you can do with your goals and your mindset. And then number two is the calendar, working on calendar strategies. Honestly, I like doing hour power, I call them, and just locking myself in one spot. In 1 hour, I just do this one activity. Making social media connections, an hour of doing follow-ups only with people, an hour of doing, so this works, but everybody, you might have some other things that are going to work. I know we're going to learn a ton of stuff as well. We're going to be sharing with you. Campaign. We can't stress that enough. You always got to keep growing in your campaigns and keeping people engaged with team building activities, team building, skill building. All of this is going to be shared, and reinforcement, always reinforcing. You could have a reinforcement campaign of something that you've done and do it again. And let's see if we can do it bigger and better. So there's so many strategies that we can all do together to help each other get to another level.
I totally agree, Tammy. And folks, listen, as we continue here, we have a few more slides, and I'm looking forward to pass it over to Anne. If this is helpful, put a 5 in the comment section. If it's helpful, you feel that it's giving you some insight, some inspiration, some ideas. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Because that gives us a sense of orientation. And folks, remember that what we're doing here is just the beginning. There is so much more to come as we keep preparing for this campaign that is coming. What Anne is about to share with you in a few minutes as we finish our slide is so critical. I look forward to that. So one of the things that's very important is reinforcement tools. You see, some people are saying, why are my team not getting involved? Why are they quitting? Why are they not getting involved? Why do they are not doing anything? Well, here's one thing, is recognition. You've heard the expression that babies cry for it and adults will die for it. Recognition has so much value, as much as money. In fact, very often, way more than money. So important is to recognize. The other aspect is repetition. Repetition. You see, I know that this year, in fact, since mid-year, actually almost mid-year, I would say, I think it started this year, we started presenting the opportunity every Thursday, every Wednesdays, in the afternoon on Tuesdays, on Mondays in the afternoon, every single week live. Yes, it could be recording. And everybody who says, you know what, I just send people to the recording, send people to, yeah, okay. If you have like, say, 100,000 members, it's easy for you. But someone who's brand new in this business, that doesn't apply. People don't relate to recording. People relate to live events, live presentation. People are looking to connect. That's why we encourage you, record your sessions that you can send to someone else, because you don't want to be doing presentation every minute of the day, right? You want to have something quick so you can send to someone. I agree. But if you want to have good culture, good results, you need to repeat those presentations on a regular basis. You need to repeat the recognition. You need to repeat the activities that you do on social media. You need to repeat the activities to invite people to come to events. Repeat. That's the key. That's what will generate. Incentives. When we started, the very first thing we did in Ghana, I wish I could see all the names here very quickly, but the very first thing we did, we went to Ghana. I said, Tammy, we've never been to Africa, and I just want to make sure that we go there as students, but at the same time, we're going to inspire the team. What can we do? And we decided to create an incentive. So we say, you know what? The very first 10 people who reaches the level of goal, we're going to give you this. And guess what? It exploded, right? The very first month, I would say after the second month or so, someone qualified. Right? And then from there, less than 3 to 4 months later, I think 9 qualified. I had to bring 9 iPads at the time, they were not so, 9 iPads in Ghana. That was tough, right? But because we had some great friends at Custom that recognized us. They knew we were contributing to the country and the economy. They turned around and let us so we can give away. And we give 9 iPads in a space of a month after Momentum started. This is what incentive does. This is how Ghana started, right? And I know that many of you have done the same thing. And that's why you've reached a pin level. Incentives is critical. Contests, right? Create a contest. It doesn't have to be expensive. Remember, people love recognition. This is some of the things that we want to do in this group. And again, we don't have all the dots connected yet, but we want to make sure that we have a system in a way to recognize people that are going to achieve based on the campaigns, based on the 90-day runs and all of these things that we want to do to help you recognize you in front of your peers, because not every leaders may have the experience to kind of lead their team, and we want to give you a head start with this environment, right? Peer pressure, that, you know, again, is sometimes you need to kind of push people and remind them, listen, John, I told you, you told me that you wanted to have 3,000 to 10,000 Ghana cedis a month. You told me that. Do you remember that? Well, right now, what you're doing, is it in line with that goal that you told me when you first signed up with Max? Let them answer. Don't speak for them. Pause. Let them answer. That's a form of peer pressure. Do you understand what I mean? It's not something to hurt, but it's something to create an incentive or to remind. You know, diamonds are created with an enormous amount of heat and pressure. Once it's applied, then you create this diamond. It's the world that we live in. That's the reason why peer pressure is there. Communication is the foundation to all issues. You know, many of you in the group, you're part of that leadership team that, you know, we have these sessions with Joe Vorticki from time to time when we're dealing with challenges and things. And of course, challenges, it's part of life, right? It's just like breathing oxygen. There will always be challenges. It's part of evolving, it's part of growing. And what is the first thing that I do? Establish communication between the field leadership. They know, they live the challenges every day. Sometimes corporate may not see all of that. We need to create a relation of communication so people can feel the pressure and the challenges on both sides so we can come up with solution. And it's amazing what came out of that. I'm giving you a situation where communication is so important. It is the foundation to success. I cannot stress this enough. We touched on culture earlier. Culture is critical. What culture do you want in your organization? Do you want a culture of people, inspiring people, or a culture of people kind of, you know, stealing from each other and take this downline from that person and put it there? You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Underselling, all of these things that happen. What kind of culture do you want to create? We know there's issues there. But let me tell you, it doesn't matter what the issue is. It's what you focus on. I'm telling you. We have been dealing with issues for years, Tammy and I, building our organizations. But we focus on the goal, we focus on the people, we focus on the price, the price that they're going to get. And you know what? People reach those goals. And when they do, the excitement is contagious. And that is the culture that you want. This is what we need to do. This is what you need to do to build an organization that will thrive.
All right, and our final slide, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but just going to show you a short example, is your daily method of operation. Write that down, because you're going to be working that with obviously keeping yourself accountable. Find somebody to keep you accountable, an accountability partner, but also working within your teams. So you get to decide what is the daily method of operation for your team based on income goals, based on goals. It could be a 5 by 5. That's a perfect example. 5 new leads every single day. Find 5 new people that you can connect with. Social media, when you're out and about, whatever, 5 new every day. 5 new conversations every single day. 5 new exposures, a video, you know, showing up at a live event, showing up at a virtual event, some type of exposure to move them towards the next step. And of course, follow-up is the big one. This is where people tend to stop. We really want to get your mindset around the importance of these follow-up, follow-through, follow-up, follow-through, because eventually they're going to make a decision. And the goal is to help them to lessen the time exposure for them to make a decision. And these are all skill building activities, okay? And then 5 decisions. We want 5 decisions every single day. We get people to make decisions and creating that habit around it. So we're super excited, as you can see. We're all in, and we can't wait to have all of you participate with all of us. And let's all do 2022 at a super high level. So I'm going to let Ann go ahead and you take over.
You know what, Ann, Tammy, I just wanted to just gotta share a few minutes here. Ann, listen, I am so grateful for you and the contribution that you have done in supporting the organization, the company. You reached out to Tammy and I to make this kind of environment possible. And I just wanted to take a moment to recognize and appreciate your effort and your willingness to work as a unit. I am so proud and so honored to work with you. And Tammy and I absolutely adore you. And we're just going to turn the torch over to you and thank you for making this possible to agree and working together as a team. So back to you.
Thank you so much, Chris and Tammy. You know what? I love you guys. We were neighbors for a long time in Toronto, overlooking beautiful Lake Ontario. I miss our old neighborhood, but it's so great to work together. You know, I'm really excited about this community because we're going to be able to pour value in here, and anybody who wants to be successful can be part of it, can get all of the trainings, all of the recordings. Our accelerators will also be providing value and training here. And so I'm really happy to be partnering with you both. It's really an honor and a privilege. You know, you are our Mama and Papa crowns. You're the crowns above us all. And so we all owe an awful lot to you. I've grown up with you. You've taught me, you've mentored me, you've encouraged me. And so it's my honor as well to be partnering together for sure. And, you know, I loved what you all shared. And what I want everyone to understand is that what you saw just now, and we'll put these slides into the Facebook group, okay, so that you can actually go and look at the document, and the training will be there as well. We're also going to be uploading it on YouTube so that on the YouTube channel, which is CD Global Impact, that's CD Global Impact, we'll be putting all of our training videos there so that you can easily go through and see any training that you've missed or rewatch it. But you know what you're seeing right now is setting your goals for 2022. A lot of the things we're talking about, of course, they all apply to our Max business, but many of you have careers, you have other businesses, they can also apply to those things as well. So when you're looking at building a team, when you're looking at improving your skills, when you're looking at recognizing people for their efforts, celebrating them, these are all things that apply to any aspect of business. Okay, so I want you to be taking these elements to heart, not only for your Max business, but for your life as well. And what we're going to talk about next is really some aspects of life. So I'm going to bring up our slides. We'll add the 5x5 DMO, the daily method of operation that Tammy shared with you as well. So we'll add that. So let me just quickly move to, I'm just going to pull up the slides. So just give me a second here. All righty. Okay, fantastic. So let me just pull up my screen and we will be ready to go. It's really nice to be part of you all here today as well. All righty. Okay, so if you can see the slide, let me know. You can see the slide. It's just loading right now. if you can believe it as well, my internet is actually worse here in Ontario than it is in Lagos, Nigeria. So I'm in Ontario for the December time frame to hang out with my mom, visit my family, and work from here. And the internet where I am is not exactly perfect. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So one thing I want to share, and this is something that I've trained on before, and it's a habit that we should all get into. So Eric Worre teaches us about the language of leaders. There's 4 elements that leaders will use in every single conversation. Okay, in every single conversation. You've already heard some of these in the training today. So the first is assignments. Okay, you never want to have a conversation with anyone in your business without giving them an assignment. An assignment can be as simple as, use the product. Assignments go with prospects, they go with team members. Assignment can be use the product and come back to me in a week and tell me how you're feeling. An assignment can be watch this video and then we'll talk afterwards. An assignment is just giving them something to do, okay? So assignments is very, very key. The next is challenges or campaigns. So we always want to give people a challenge. A challenge could be something like, can you create your list of people, get it up to 100 within the next 2 days? Or let's do a campaign where we're going to find 5 customers in 5 days. Okay, so challenges and campaigns are also part of the language of leaders. Stories. Always, always, always stories. All right. Stories are our language. We're always sharing stories about our experiences, stories about other people's experiences. Stories will really help people understand what it is you're trying to share with them. And then vision. You want to share a vision of what's possible. You want to share a vision of how people could feel when they become part of what you're doing, what's possible for them. So keep those 4 keys in your mind all the time, and every single conversation, try and incorporate those 4 elements into your language: assignment, challenge, story, and vision. Okay, and be a collector of stories. That will also really, really help you. So Tammy talked a little bit about plan, do, review. This is actually a habit that if you do it every single day at the end of your day, and I've just started doing this myself in the last little while, I found that I knew what I should be doing every day. Okay, have you ever felt that you know what you should be doing, but somehow you just don't do it? I know I feel that way myself sometimes with my diet or my exercise, and I find that even with my business, I know what I'm supposed to be doing every day, but I don't always do it. And so what I decided to do for myself is I decided to get into little accountability groups and share my daily method of operation, my accountability to myself. I have to update the group on a daily basis, and that helps me stay accountable. And part of my accountability to myself is every night I plan, do, review. So I looked at what I planned to do. I give myself, this is what went well. This is what could have been improved upon. I didn't get to this, or I could have done more here. And then I plan my next day. I say, okay, so tomorrow I'm going to do better in this area. So every single day I do a plan, do, review. And that's something that Eric Worre said has been his single biggest plus in his entire career, in his entire life, even now as he has his private plane and homes all over and a $20 million studio. But plan, do, review on a daily basis is really, really key. So not only for your business planning where you want to look at it monthly, but every single day you can get just a fraction of a percentage better every day. And by the end of the year, you'll find that you've improved 100% over what you were at the beginning of the year. So get into that habit. It will really, really serve you. And then my part of today's training, we're not going to share with you every single thing that we learn in Accelerator, but we had a workshop on Saturday, which was fantastic. And Lisa Nichols, who is really an amazing, amazing speaker and trainer, she taught us 3 audience connection techniques. And you know, in our business, we are in the people business. That's what we do. We talk to people. And so if you can find great ways to connect with people, then you can really, really improve your business overall, because we are in the people business. That's our job, is to connect with people. So here are 3 techniques that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to give you some examples as well. So the first one is called SNAP. And SNAP stands for Super Networking at an Accelerated Pace, SNAP. And it should be super short, okay, 30 to 60 seconds. And it should be clear, concise, powerful, and quick. I'm going to give you a little song that we're going to do together in a minute. It speaks to the outcome. It's not about the process. And it answers the listener's question, what's in it for me? So when someone asks you what you do, or let's say you meet someone at a party, or you're just talking to someone, you know, and you want to use this SNAP technique on them, okay? It's really fun, and it's very, very clear. So let me just move to the next slide here. So you can take a screenshot of this, or remember, it will be in the Accelerator page, okay, in our Crown Diamond Global Impact Facebook page. After this presentation will be there. And so here's how it goes. You start with, as a result of our blank, 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 our clients blank, 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 okay? And then you finish with a benefit-based question. I'm looking for people who are ready for blank, blank, blank. Who do you know? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example that I created for our Max business. You can do this in every single situation, okay? You can do it for your Max business, you can do it for your career, you can do it for your, for anything really, okay? So this is my example of a SNAP. When people use our products, they have more energy to get through their day, they can handle their stress better, and they find their overall health is improved. I'm looking for people who are tired of feeling less than great, who are ready to feel amazing every day, and who want to get more done because they have the energy to do it. Who do you know? Okay, so that is an example of a SNAP, a product-based SNAP. Now, I also did one for business as an example. Okay, so let me do the one for business. As a result of our life-changing products and great business opportunity, our partners earn great income, they make an impact on people's lives, and they have more joy than they ever imagined. I'm looking for people who are ready for growth in their lives, who want more financial freedom, and who want to have more fun and adventure in their life. Who do you know? Okay, so it's an example of an indirect approach. So it's not having people feel you're trying to sell them something, but of course they might very well be interested. All right, so that is an example of SNAP. Now, Lisa Nichols taught us this really neat song, and I want you to go ahead and actually try it, okay? So I'm gonna sing it along. I can't see you all, I don't think. Let me see if I can actually see you. Okay, I can only see a few of you. So I'm going to be snapping my fingers because this is snap, right? So here's how it goes. Snap, snap, snapitize. Clear, concise, powerful, and quick. It would be wise. Snap, snap, snapitize. Clear, concise, powerful, and quick. It would be wise. Okay, are we ready? I want you to sing it with me. Snap, snap, snapitize. Clear, concise, powerful, and quick. It would be wise. So that's how you can remember the SNAP formula, okay? We're going to give you an assignment at the end of today to create your own snap and put it into the Facebook group. Okay, so that's the first of the 3 techniques to connect with your audience, okay, in maybe a different way than we've been used to. So that is a snap. The next technique is called me, we, and you. Me, we, and you. And what this does is it connects you to the audience in a way that shows some of your vulnerability. Now, this is something that I know I could get better at. And it's something that when people, people don't want to see that you're at the top of the mountain and you've always been there. They want to know that you've struggled and that you've made it to the top, and they want to go there with you. One of the things that I tend to be very optimistic. I'm always positive. I'm always happy. I'm always upbeat. Everything is always great. I never talk about struggles. I don't want to talk about struggles. I always believe that we can achieve whatever we want, and that's very good up to a point. But if I seem like I've never struggled, right, then people may not relate to me as well as they could to someone who has had struggles in their life and who have overcome them. So the way that the me, we, and you audience connection formula goes, and I'll give you an example of one that I've done for me, is there was a time when okay, and then you talk about your challenge. There was a time when I blank, blank, blank. And that's when you're talking about me, okay? You're talking about yourself. And then you want to bring it to the audience. We have a tendency to blank, blank, blank. What your goal is there is that people are nodding. Yeah, you're right. We do have that tendency. And then you're going to bring it to them. Has there ever been a time in your life when you blank, blank, blank? And now they're going to be like, yeah, that's me. That's me. You can even ask them, has there ever been a time in your life when you've felt like this? If that's you, raise your hand. So now, anytime, for example, and we teach this, whenever we're sharing our own stories, our own testimonies, our stories in Max, we always want people nodding their head. We want people seeing themselves in the journey with us. Right? We're inspiring them to think, yeah, that's me, or I know someone who's like that, so that they're seeing themselves in the picture. This is a great way to connect people to the picture that you're trying to paint with them. So let me give you an example, okay? This is an example that I'm doing for me. Okay. So, there was a time when I was earning good money, but I was broke. My money was disappearing at the end of every month, and I was getting further and further in debt. We have a tendency to spend what we have. At the beginning of the month, things are looking great, and before you know it, the money's gone, and now you're even struggling to get the money you need for what you want by the end of the month. Has there ever been a time in your life where you've just been sick of always feeling behind, and you felt like, no, it's time for me to start getting ahead, to start feeling that I don't have financial stress in my life? Does anyone ever feel that way? If you feel that way, put a 1 into the chat. If you've ever felt that way, that you're just tired of feeling behind in your finances and you want to start feeling like you're getting ahead, put a 1 in the chat. And honestly, that was me. That was me 100%. And when I found Max, after some time, I actually started to feel like I was getting ahead. I paid my debts. I was saving. I had money to invest. And it was really an exciting time. Now, that extra part about Max, that's not part of the me, we, you, but definitely once you've had people connect with your message, and you can do that message about anything, right? You can create that me, we, you message about anything. You want to get very, very good at it. I mean, Lisa Nichols was a pro. She was just rhyming them off, rhyming them off, rhyming them off. For me, And for most of us, we'll have to practice a little bit, but you can use any kind of example, any kind of example. I'm going to use a different example in the next technique. And this really connects you to your audience. They feel like, yeah, I'm with you. Yes, I have felt like that. And now they're ready to hear what you have to share with them as a next step. Okay, I'm going to go on to technique number 3. This is called the valley. And this one is really, really neat as well. I loved it. And it is, it's called the valley because you're going to show your high. You're going to show the biggest you, the big you. Then you're going to show a low. You're going down into the valley, and then you're going to come up to the top again. Okay, you're going to come up to the top again and explain now after the valley why it is you do what you do. And I'm going to finish on this slide right here, and then I'll give you an example. So you're going to give some big points about the big you, that's at the top. Then you're going to go down to the valley and give some tough times, only a snippet. You're not going to give them your whole struggle of your whole life because that will be too much to digest, but you need to give the high first, then the low, and then come back up to what you've learned or why you now do what you do. So let me give you an example, okay? And you can use any of these techniques. So here's an example from me. Okay. So even though I've earned well over $1 million in my business, I've created a global team of over 70,000 people, and I speak on stages all around the world. You know, what you may not know about me is that I have struggled with self-worth in the past. And because I struggled with self-worth, I made a lot of bad choices. I chose the wrong men to be with. I made friends with people that really didn't value me and weren't serving me. And I probably even stayed in my marriage for too long. I should have probably left it earlier. And that's why I am so determined now to make sure that everyone I work with can experience their full potential, that they can actually live into what they are capable of. That if they want to be successful and they'll do the work, then we can be successful together. I'm very, very passionate about personal development because I know that is the path to helping people feel great about themselves. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about what I do. Okay, so that's an example of the high, the big, going down into the valley, right? Struggling with self-worth. And it's not something I normally share. So for some of us, I mean, I've never said that to anyone in my Max business or probably in my life for 12 and a half years. So for some of us who are used to being very, very confident, very upbeat all the time, you know, it's going to mean that we're now showing our vulnerabilities a bit. But people will relate to those vulnerabilities because everybody has vulnerabilities, right? And people want to know why you're doing what you're doing. People want to know that they can climb out of the valley with you, that they can achieve with you. So these are 3 techniques that you can use to build more of a connection with people. And you know, it was funny because on in our accelerator program, some people in my room were talking about, wow, this was going to be tough, you know, because they might start you know, blubbering, they might start crying in the middle of their valley. And it's true, like I'm feeling a little bit emotional right now, just having done this for the first time in my life. So so it's good. It's a good 3 techniques to use. Remember, they'll be in the Facebook group for you. And here are your assignments. Okay, I want you to create a snap example. Okay, create a snap example. Remember, you can go into the Facebook group. We'll post this PowerPoint in there, and you'll see the snap there. All right, and then here is your assignment. What we promised originally in this program today, but we've come to the end of our time. We'll take some questions in a minute if anyone has questions, is that we are going to get prepared for a 90-day run. If you guys are in for a 90-day run, type a number 90 in the chat. If you're in for a 90-day run, type a 90 into the chat. And so we're going to be getting prepared, okay, between now and the end of the year. And Eric decided that he was not going to do our preparation for the 90-day run right during the Saturday workshop because there was too much content to cover. So he's going to be coming to us during the week with more content, and we're going to be coming to you during the week with more content. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. You will get more ways to prepare for the 90-day run. But one of the things you can do if you choose to accept the challenge, is start conversations. Start conversations with anyone who is not a Max associate. Okay. And the conversation is not about your Max business. It's just starting a conversation. How are you? You know, I haven't talked to you in a while. I saw your name. You made me smile. I thought I would check in with you. Just start conversations, see where they go. Okay. So if you accept the challenge, you can decide to accept a small challenge, which is 100 conversations between now and the end of the year. You can decide to accept a medium challenge, 500 conversations between now and the end of the year. Or you can decide to accept the Rockstar Challenge, 1,000 conversations between now and the end of the year. So that's going to be probably about 80 conversations a day. So if you are up for accepting the challenge, put a 1 if you're choosing the small challenge, a 2 if you're choosing the medium challenge, and a 3 if you're choosing the Rockstar Challenge. If you are ready, type a 1, 2, or 3. Wow, that's amazing. I love that you're accepting the challenge. It's amazing. And remember, you can find people on your social media, right? On your Instagram, on your Facebook, in your phone book, in your WhatsApp. You can find a million people to speak to. Oh, I'm loving all of these numbers. Fantastic. And, you know, it used to be, things are changing as well. So it used to be that we really talked about making sure you've written them all down and keeping track of all your conversations. You're going to have them in your chat. Okay, you're going to have them on your Instagram chat. You're going to have them on your LinkedIn chat. You're going to have them on your WhatsApp chat. And when people reply, start chatting back. Keep the conversation going. See where it goes. Just chat. Okay. So I know you'll enjoy that. I see some 3s, I see some 1s, I see some 2s. Amazing. You know what? If you've chosen to accept the challenge at all, we are proud of you because that is the first step. So our next steps is to make sure that we are preparing for the 90-day run. We're going to do it together, and we're doing it starting on January 3rd. So be ready for that. Okay. Now, remember that we as accelerators, we're going to be learning along with you. So we'll be coming to you directly after we've had our own training or workshop. So it might be a couple of days later just to allow us to get organized. We'll be hearing from different accelerators over the course of the months. All right, all of us who are involved in the accelerator program. Okay, fantastic. So I want to pause for a minute. I'm going to stop the screen share and see if we can just take any questions. If anyone has any questions, I hope you guys got some value from some of that. Yeah, you can write down the names of people who reply back. That's a great idea, Prince. Really great idea, so that you know who seems to be interested in talking with you. Okay. Okay, so please share an example of the Facebook message. Honestly, Dr. Essie, it is as simple as, wow, I saw you in my Facebook contacts. We haven't spoken before. I just wanted to check in with you. How are you doing? Or we haven't spoken in a long time. I just wanted to check in with you. How are you doing? That's as simple as it is. Okay. It doesn't, we don't have to overcomplicate at all. We just have to start conversations. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, just quickly, because I often, when I make a connection on social media, I immediately send a message. I don't just wait for them to get back to accept me. I send a personal message. I tend to look at people and what they're up to and find something that I can compliment them. And they tend to get back faster when you're doing that, right? You can even leave sometimes personal messages, like a voice. And that it's so important, that connection. That works.
Yeah, that was an example I was mentioning earlier where we have a habit of like. You know, if you go a little further than that and you start commenting on something that you appreciate about them, appreciate about the video, appreciate about their dog, their cat, their kids, whatever. And again, of course, it has to be genuine, right? And a lot of it, because people would relate to something that you like that are showing off on their video. And that's what really initiates. And this is what we mean. And if you're like me, sometimes you look at these numbers and it's, oh my God, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's amazing how much you can accomplish. And some of you are probably reaching these numbers, wasting your time watching TikTok and all of these things, but not engaging, but you're actually doing hundreds and hundreds. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the key is just to shift the mindset towards making a connection. And that's what we're telling you. And what we shared here today, not to repeat everything that was shared, just to summarize quickly, is that we're creating an environment for you to prepare. That's what it is. The real work will begin with the 90-day run. That's when you're going to have to really, really take action. And those of you who do will reap the rewards. And that is a guarantee. I look forward to see all the new pin ranks and all the new income that will grow. And those of you leaders, you know, I've noticed a few diamond leaders. There's Ann Bushell, there is Watt Master, there is Dr. Albert, there is Dr. Parker, there is God, if I'm forgetting anybody, I do apologize. Nelson, and I know there's many. I have to find a better way to pick, you know, when you got 200 names to go through quickly, it's not easy, right? And all of you diamonds that are here, I'm so grateful for that, because the greatest leaders are also the greatest students. And this is really important, because you've reached a level, but you still humble yourself to learn. Guess what? You become a better leader. And that's what this environment is all about. So I guess as we end this session, is there any other questions or comments that, according to Anne's comment at the beginning? Thank you, Laura. This is wonderful.
Dr. Essie is asking about transitioning from the first conversation to into business. For now, you're not going to worry about business, okay? Now, if it naturally comes up, fine, but don't worry about business. You're just warming up relationships, all right? That's all. So ask them about their holiday plans, ask them how the family is doing. Wow, it's really nice to catch up with you. That's it. You don't have to go to business. So don't worry about transitioning right now. Just start conversations. Okay. What you want is you want to have warm relationships so that when you're ready to start your 90-day run, you've got 1,000 people who are already warmed up to you, that you've already had conversations with in the last few weeks, right? That you exchange some nice pleasantries. Oh, I'm so happy the children look like they're doing so well on Facebook. They look so beautiful, whatever, right? So don't worry about transitioning to business right now. This program is streaming live on the Facebook page, Crown Diamond Global Impact. Remember to join the page, don't just visit it. And that way you'll get more notifications and things like that, because it's going to be counted as one of your groups. And so you can watch this training directly after the program, because it's actually live there right now. And as soon as it propagates, it will be there again for anyone who wants to listen to it.
And I also was mentioned that Steve Imoni is here. Steve, buddy, how are you? This is my giant friend every time we go to Nigeria.
Dr. Asari, I believe you're there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, folks, listen. If I didn't mention you, please. Again, I do apologize. We are going to get better in utilizing those tools to be able that can really capture the essence of who's here and everything else. But we are so grateful. And I really, really believe that if you plug in, but most importantly, and remember, if you show up alone, you will learn. But if you show up with your team, you will earn while you learn. And folks, you will notice that your income, this is something that Ann, Tammy, and I, and many of the leaders that are here have done, is they plug their people to events. And when people are inspired and they step up, their volume grows and everybody's income grows. Of course, their income grows. And that's what we want to do for you. So, Anne, was there any other topic or anything that we should end with as we end this session?
No, not at all, unless anyone has any questions at all. We're going to be coming to you with more training during the week on the 90-day run preparation. Diamond Afolabi is here, Diamond Dr. Stella, Diamond Dr. Iffy. I'm going through the list as well.
Wonderful.
Amazing, great.
And I know Joyce had a question about, can we start our conversation with people already? Did you already answer that, Anne?
Definitely start with people. Anyone who's not a Max associate, if you've talked to them before, oh my goodness, it's perfect.
Here's what I do. Hey guys, let's say I'm talking to someone that I spoke a year ago or a month ago or 6 months ago, they didn't agree with it. Always try to bring something new. You can even use this group, right? And just kind of have something to add to the conversation that was not there previously, right? And talk about anything that could add value. And that's the point of when you call them back, don't you say, hey, do you remember Max? Are you still interested now? You know what? You're keeping them where they were. You want to kind of bring them along. You may even want to invite them. This is a public group, right? Invite them to come in here and says, you remember we were talking about this opportunity? Well, we're working with some wonderful leaders. And as many of the leaders that are here and also that are part of the Accelerator will be featured, will be sharing. And again, it's just an opportunity to invite them to follow through. So at this point, I think we'll end on this note and to keep the call reasonably at a reasonable time. And at this point, guys, again, thank you for participating. Our goal is to bust this thing wide open, and you will see that your checks will be impacted by it. I assure you, I've seen it before, and that is a promise. So we're on this note, guys. Thank you so much again, and we will talk to you soon. Stay tuned. Make sure you stay in touch with what's going on in the group, and we'll make sure that you get all the information on a regular basis as we get them.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.